So, you now have the doll with his image. You know, a little bit of a backstory, more to draw you in. So you guys head back to the back, or what do you do?
Let's head back.
Okay. So when you come out the door, you can see in the late afternoon sun, you can see that there is a large building that, it says Brewer's Barn. The doors are closed and they're actually barred.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a little walkway between the vineyard and the barn, and it looks like it goes further back. So I mean, there's that way to be able to get back there, it looks
Mm-hmm.
like. On the other side, you can see this big huge, it's basically looks like where it's a rounded off building,
Uh-huh.
and then like there's this big huge hole that it sits over
What the hell
on
is
one
over
end.
there?
And you can actually walk over there if you want.
I don't know, guys. What do you think?
And they go, I don't know anything about it, so I guess we'll just take your lead.
All right. Well, let's go check that out real quick and then keep going on.
So when you walk over there, you notice that there's not a lot of windows to the building. But however, every few feet there's like a little grate that comes out along like the bottom of the building, and there's this little channel, and like the entire thing is stained red.
What the hell?
Like it's a reddish brown.
So like
And
what?
these little channels basically lead off into where the building hangs over this hole. And if you care to look over the building or over the hole,
Yeah. What's in that?
in the daylight, you can see that there are quite literally like bones. There's like, you would swear there's like stuff moving around in there
What
to
the
where it's
fuck?
feeding off the bodies.
What the fuck? I thought that would be like some weird wine storage thing, but instead it's a mass fucking grave.
So when you take a look at it, it's not a mass grave for humans. It's a mass grave for animal parts and, things that are not edible. So it's
Ew.
basically like this big, huge charnel pit.
Gross.
So if they couldn't use it, it went in the pit.
Ew. Ew. Ew.
So I take it by that reaction that Raph would be like, "Oh my god, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting the
I
fuck out of here."
I need to hug. I need to go be near a tree for a minute. Just I'll be right back.
So your quest for the tree, or a tree, will actually take you to the very spot that you were looking for. Because you wander away from the party after a few moments.
Uh
When you wander away from the party, you wander between the brewer's barn and like three other buildings.
mm-hmm.
Then you take a left, and all of a sudden you see this. Oh God! You would say that it's probably a good 15 foot around,
What the fuck, guys? Guys,
and it's this stumpy tree, and it has like two branches that stick up out
wait
of
a
it.
minute. Rafflesia probably wouldn't freak out because she'd look at it and be like, "It's a weird tree, but it's still a tree."
So like you stop yelling, guys, and like you walk closer to it. I take it.
Yeah, she's like, "Whatever, man.
So
I know how to deal with trees. I'm a
when
wild elf."
you walk closer to it, you you sense something just isn't right.
Uh oh.
The texture to the bark is not right. The
Does it feel like squishy or anything? What does it
like
feel like?
Do you reach up and touch the tree?
Yeah.
Like the bark feels quite literally like you put your hand on like a giant zit.
Ew! God!
And if
Ew!
you were to push hard,
Ew!
like you imagine like the tree would ooze.
Ew!
Like in fact it's like you're standing there and you're looking at this tree and you're about to touch it. Like you hear the sound of, and there just comes this blue jay out of nowhere, and it lands on the tree, one of the little tree branches that stick out of those tree branches, and it goes, and it falls onto the ground.
Fucking gross.
As like the branch breaks off, and like there's this like blackish green, what smells like just turned cheese and fish, and just
Oh God.
like somebody had just turned over a log all together. Smell, and it hits the bird, and the bird just goes, and it starts hopping around trying to get it off of it so it can fly again.
Oh no, guys!
And you quickly lose sight of the bird. It's like you're like, guys.
Hey!
So when you turn back around, like the bird isn't there. But there's this little red thing on the ground,
Uh-oh.
and it's covered in little white pustules, and it's moving around.
Ew! It lost its feathers, guys!
So, like, when they finally come running around the corner, like, what part of not yelling at a ghost town?
Whatever, look at that bird!
Go, what bird?
Look at that thing right there. That's
You mean
covered
that
in
giant
zits.
raspberry?
No!
And, like, Ibis takes a stick that he's, like, a piece of wood he's found on the ground, and he pokes it, and it just goes,
Ew!
and it just explodes everywhere.
Ew!
But not, like, onto anybody. But it's, like, on the end of the stick.
Ew!
And he's like, giant raspberries normally don't explode. Because that was a weird raspberry you found.
No, that wasn't a raspberry. That used to be a blue jay, and then it landed on the tree. It got weird stuff on its little
So, like,
feet.
as you're, like,
It was
explaining
hopping
it,
around,
like,
and then,
you-
oh my God, oh,
you're
lost all its
freaking out.
feathers. It's covered in
You
zits
see
and
Iggy bend down, and, like, he's taking, like, he's like, guys, I think she's right. I see part of a bird skull. So Iggy about this time goes, well, there's a lot of things not right here. And he goes, I think it's time that I call for help.
Wait, what do you mean by that, my dude?
And he goes, the rest of you stay here, or we'll meet back together at the museum. Which do you guys want to do?
Get the hell away from here for now.
Okay, so we'll meet them back at the museum.
Oh, how did I manage to fuck that up that spectacularly?
Because you're Stephanie.
I mean,
Giant pussies.
victory.
Giant trees. Vagina trees.
Anyway, one phrase I've heard all throughout my life. God damn it, Stephanie.
Welcome to hell. So, Iggy and you will separate from the group, and he goes, we need to find a large red rose bush.
What?
And he goes, the rose will be blood red, and the color of the vine will be a white coloration.
Oh.
So, I need you to help me find one.
I have a feeling that he's trying to distract Rafflesia so that he can go off and do whatever he needs to do.
Well, he's actually with you when he says what the rose looks like, and it does look like he is looking for something.
Okay.
So,
Let's go look for it.
give me a d20 roll.
I got a 7.
Or you could take 20.
I think I will take a 20.
So, taking a 20 plus another 10 minutes, because you have to walk around a little bit. You enter that public garden space that you passed, and in the middle, right by a water fountain, and it looks like this rose bush has been planted there a very long time, and it's in a separate potted area to where it wouldn't get wet from the water fountain, but it's part of the water fountain feature. He says, I need you to reach in and lift the rose bush up.
Okay.
Because I want you to do it because you're a little bit stronger than me.
Okay, I'll go do that without hesitation.
Okay, so it's no strength challenge or anything, but when you lift it up, there is a box that's just big enough to fill the bottom of it, and he picks up the box.
What the fuck is in that?
And he goes, come on, we'll meet up with the others at the museum.
Oh, okay, let's go do that.
So when you go back, everybody's waiting at the door because Iggy's the only one that knows how to unlock it. Then he hands the box to you, and he takes another 20, so that's about another hour. So about now, it's about 3:30.
And naturally, as I'm holding the box, I like dust it off and stuff.
So he gets the door unlocked, and you guys go back into the secret room, which takes about another 5 minutes. So you're back into the secret room, and he folds everything away from the desk, and he asks for the box from you.
Okay, here you go.
So when he opens the box, you don't. Are you standing there to where you can see the contents,
Yes.
or? So when you look into the box, there's this little statue, and it's a statue of a humanoid figure wearing a traveling cloak. And it's got a great big bag as if it's stuffed with something over its shoulder.
Santa Claus?
It could be like a primitive version of Santa Claus, but it looks like somebody who's carrying a package and dressed for like just the shittiest weather ever.
Okay.
Not like a beard or anything. Like a beardless Santa Claus. Like, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Like an old world Santa Claus statue like we usually see.
Yeah.
So he takes a piece of parchment and he writes on it, and he reports the situation of he goes, so when you came into town, you saw the doll, and he lists about the doll, and he goes, what other odd things have you seen before you met us? If you mention anything about the possession of the marijuana and the consumption of it, he will leave that out of the letter, no matter how many times you point that out or list it.
I think that, well, wait, no, she's only got 9 intelligence, probably not. Well, after the first couple of times, and she wouldn't mention it anymore, and just keep rambling on about,
yeah,
so
it kind of slips your notice that, yeah, like, he doesn't write it down, but he goes, and then what else? And then he moves on to the next one.
So I think that maybe not right away, but eventually she'd figure out, hey, this is like a weird magic letter thing. Maybe.
Especially since once he basically writes out everything that's happened and what they've seen, like he puts the piece of paper under the statue, and then the piece of paper disappears and the statue wobbles back and forth. And he goes, okay, well, that's it for now.
What the hell was that, dude?
And he goes, oh, it's a sending statue.
Okay. Who did you send it to?
About the time that you asked that, Blaine and Tuff will actually have their hands on weapons and ask that same question.
Uh-oh.
And Iggy will go, you're not the only ones with secrets, motherfuckers.
Ah.
And he goes, so while we're trapped in this room, let's all fucking have it out then.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
He goes, these two assholes have been the reason why there haven't been any undead creatures bothering us.
What is Ivis doing in this time?
Ivis is freaking out along with you, by the way.
Well, okay, well, I'm going to go stay over there by him, because I know that he's...
So as you and Ivis are standing in the corner, not in the line of drawn weapons.
Yeah.
Ivis goes, did you know any of this?
No! Well, wait, would now be the time to be like, I kind of overheard their conversation?
You could mention that to him.
Alright, so I did kind of hear them talking. They were like almost arguing, but not quite. This is when you were like meditating. And, naturally I didn't say anything, but there's something going on with those two.
So, as they basically are sitting there arguing with one another, after a few minutes of Mexican standoff, you see the statue, it wobbles again.
Oh, God.
And there's a piece of paper underneath it. And Iggy actually has his hands on a crossbow, and he goes, do you mind picking that up for me, Rafflesia?
Alright, man. So I'll go over and pick it up.
So when you pick it up...
Look over at Ivis and, hope that he'll, have some little something handy in case I get attacked.
So when you pick it up, and you open it up, it says, I understand completely. It says, please understand that I can't just magically make things happen.
The fuck is going on here, dude?
Hey guys, and you're reading it out loud?
Yeah.
So when you ask what the fuck is going on here, he goes, well, we're stuck here on our own now.
Uh-oh.
And he goes, what else did it say? Or what else does the note say?
That was...
So when you go back to read the note, it says, however, there are some stashes around the town that may be able to aid you. That is, if there are no clerics in the party.
Oh, no. So this has gotten into some, like... Well, Ralph Felicia probably would either have limited understanding or no understanding of what that means.
Basically, what it's kind of alluding to is that there are healing items that are stashed around the town.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like whoever Iggy works for knows of these. And because of where they would be placed, if you want to put 2 and 2 together as a character and make an intelligence roll.
Yeah, I'll do that. I got a 10.
You got a 10? What's your... Oh, that's right. -1.
-1. So I got a 9.
So at a 9, you're like, he is well connected to peoples. He knows everything.
Uh-oh.
You're just like in awe of who Iggy could possibly be. So he goes, yeah, that's if there's no clerics present. And he's looking at the other 2 across the room that also have weapons at him. So about this time, you hear, let's see how to put this. You hear Blaine start giggling, and he takes out of his robes out from his ruffled shirt a medallion. It's a red medallion, and it's this. It's not like a skull. It's not like a skull face, but it's this motif of like a red skull face with like its hands up like this, and it's like the way that it's carved into the metal, it looks like it's waves. And you hear Ivis goes, well, that's kind of reassuring. That is reassuring. And you hear Tuff, or you see Tuff take something out of, or he doesn't take something. One of the things that I've kind of side glanced that until now is that Tuff has been wearing one single glove.
Uh-oh.
And he's been wearing it on his left hand. You notice that he still has use of his hand,
mm-hmm.
but when he takes the glove off, the middle of his hand is cut out like a heart.
What the fuck, dude?
And it doesn't, it's a complete heart, and you can see through his hand.
Ew.
There's no bones or anything that you could see.
Like it's cauterized around it?
Like it's some kind of just open wound implement something.
What the fuck, dude?
And you hear everybody else have that same exact expression. And, let me see. Because I don't think any of your other party members, unless he decides to say something, will know what it is.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? 7, 16, 17. So you hear Ivis suddenly curse, and he draws a wand and he points it at Tuff. And everybody else does the same thing once he does that, and Tuff goes, you shouldn't have that on your hand. What, how did you even, what the fuck? And Tuff smiles at him and goes, not everybody chooses to worship a god or goddess that's represented by our pantheon here in Offmaria.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck, man?
He goes, that's the mark of the evening glory. And Tough goes, when you say the lady's name, say it with reverence.
The fuck?
So,
I mean, me and my unicorn goddess.
So Iggy,
and then this bullshit.
Iggy puts down his weapons and goes, well, since the cat's out of the bag, he goes, when we got separated last time, I got arrested for breaking into the town. And I made a deal. I made a deal that I'd keep you assholes out of trouble. And keep an eye on the town. Not you, Rathleisha, and not you, Ivas. When they learned that we wanted to break back into the town, they told us, or they made a deal with me that I'd keep an eye on you, and I would report Mistress Raven for her basically dealing in stolen items. Especially since these items that she wanted us to steal, you know, as you've seen, you know, the Wrath of the Beast of Brynback and its needle, which it used to skin creatures alive and make its clothes out of. The war paint of the oh god, what was her name? He stops for a second and Blaine goes, you mean the war chiefess Vashran retrieving that smear paste of hers? And he goes, exactly. And then there was the Nats Alley creeper. She wanted his rapier that he used. That substandard size rapier that was made for a gnome. You know, all these items are supposedly cursed. But, you know, yet this bitch has us trying to break in to a museum in a town full of just whatever to retrieve these items for her like it's no big deal. And he goes, so what's the story with you two? Blaine smiles and goes, well, after you left and I realized that the town was full of undead creatures, the best option for getting past the undead creatures was to make a deal with one of the only temples that had knowledge about how to deal with undead creatures, which was the Temple of Weejas. And Tough smiles and goes, I was lazy. I went to go drink, guys. And I kind of got into debt.
Uh-oh.
I fell in love with a noblewoman who wasn't what she seemed. And needless to say, I helped her with some things I shouldn't have. She became an undead creature, and I still love her.
Are you saying that... What the fuck, dude?
So Tough looks at you and goes, what? He goes, haven't you ever loved anybody enough to see past, you know, the flaws in who they are? I mean, don't you believe that death should continue even after, or love should continue even after death? I mean, just because somebody dies, do you stop loving them?
No, but you move on, dude. You move on.
Well, if they're an undead creature, you don't have to move on.
But are they the same person as they were when they were alive?
Well, you learn to live with things.
No, dude, you don't learn to live with things.
Who cares if, you know, she has to eat someone's flesh every so often?
Dude.
It's okay, you know, you love somebody.
Undead, what the fuck? That's what I'm gonna write down.
So, Tough says, I still loved her, and I had her locked up, and she escaped a year ago.
So she's probably, like, roaming free somewhere in here? Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you mention that, because, like, the book that she stole was from the Timtones mansion here in town. And I think she might be coming back to steal more books or you know, I don't know.
All right.
So about this time again, the statue like shakes back and forth.
Okay, what before I pick that up, even if you're gonna shoot me, who the hell is that?
I goes, oh, that's the Inquisitors.
Who? What the fuck?
Oh, that's right, you're not from off Maria, he goes.
No.
So the Inquisitors are... How to be able to describe the Inquisitors? The Inquisitors of off Maria are like the police.
Ah.
Like, they're everywhere, anywhere. They have agents that they activate at any time for any reason.
So kind of like the CIA.
They're like a secret intelligence force, plus like a police force, and then also sometimes they break the law.
Okay.
And they know everybody's secrets.
All right. So they really are like FBI agents then.
Yeah, pretty much. And he goes and they're headed by the Grand Inquisitor Quoth.
Okay. I see what you did there.
What?
Anyway. Okay, well, us wild elves, people of the open sky, don't have that weird nonsense.
No, you guys don't need it, do you?
No, we really fucking don't, dude.
But here in civilizations where there's magic and people who can do things with their minds, and, you know, there's monsters that can pretend to be humans, and, you know, sometimes you get monsters who are nice, and then sometimes there's monsters that aren't nice amongst them. You know, it's a complicated society, but, you know, we're just trying to hold it together the best we can.
Alright, let's step outside Rafflesia for a second. That weird berry juice that Raph licked off of that doll's plate, was that assassin berry?
No.
Okay.
No. If you had more of it, it would have been like, oh, this is a raspberry.
Okay, good. Because I've been like
worried.
through this, like, oh god, when is it
I'm
gonna
dying
kick in?
inside.
When's
I'm
it gonna
dying
kick
inside. No, it's
Okay.
nothing horrible like that yet.
in? Alright.
So, when the statue and everything goes off, and, you know, he explains about how the Inquisitors work, that, you know, they're basically there to keep things from boiling over and causing too much chaos.
Oh, so a little bit of chaos is okay.
They allow just enough chaos to keep everybody almost on the same level, or keep one party in power ahead of enough of another party, behind another party, behind another group, that, you know, it's all orchestrated by them.
Rafflesia is thoroughly lost and is not asking more questions.
Yeah, it's deeply political. It's deeply political and spooky.
But if I had like a wizard or someone that was smart, they'd be like, ooh, tell me more.
There you go.
So instead, she's going to pick the letter up.
So when you pick the letter up, it says, I am currently engaged in other matters. Please see to it as the best of your abilities. Warmest regards, Q.
Okay. Q. Is that a name?
No, it's you know.
Oh, she's asking me if it's a name.
When you mentioned the letter initial to it, he goes, damn it. He goes, that's from the top. We're fucking screwed, and I'm stuck here with you guys.
Yeah, well, fuck you too, dude.
Not you. I'm talking to the other two.
Oh.
So which means that we all need to come up with a plan of, do we want to continue robbing this fucking place, or do we want to get the hell out of here and make sure that it's quarantined?
I still have to find those papers, put those flowers on the grave. You know, I still got shit to do, man.
And he goes, by the way, when this is over, Blaine and Tuff, you're both coming with me. Especially you, Tuff, and you're coming in chains. Tuff's like, oh, well, I didn't know it was going to be like that.
Rafflesia looks over at Ibis because, you know, he's got the more brain cells to rub together. She's like,
Because we are trapped in the middle of a deep kitten playing with the yarn.
alright, that's real fucking fun. If we make it out of here alive, I'm just gonna go fuck off back into the forest.
What? That'd be no fun.
Man,
So,
I don't know. What the fuck?
about the time that you guys are fighting with this, you, hear the sounds of heavy footsteps.
Oh, God.
And it's it's one heavy set of footsteps, and there's other footsteps behind it, and you hear someone go, "Come out and play!"
What the fuck?
And that you notice as the voice keeps getting closer that somebody's knocking on the walls.
Ew.
It's kind of like that whole thing from the Warriors with the 5 beer bottles. Come out and play, Warriors!
No.
So as you're hearing this, all of a sudden, a wood panel pops off part of the wall, and this figure that is dressed in like this filthy hood and cloak takes a shot at you. I need you to roll initiative.
What the fuck is that? I got a 15.
15 plus your initiative modifier.
Which is... oh my god. Check bonus. I can't find it.
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, no, that's not it.
Oh, I got your base page here. Oh, that's right. You didn't take improved initiative, so it would just be... Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had 2 feats. So improved initiative is what? +2 or +4?
I fucking...
Fired. Let me pull back over to the handy dandy
Wait a minute.
player's handbook, which is sitting under this.
Rage 2, no. No, that's not right.
I swear it's +2.
Probably is, but I don't...
Improved initiative is +4, not +2. So
Okay.
4 plus what you rolled?
15.
15. 15.
Oops, wrong way. I can't write with that end.
Okay, so...
+4, right?
Say what?
It was +4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, before this nasty hooded creature can be able to get a shot off at you, Ivis will push you out of the way as his move action. Then it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna try to shoot it with an arrow.
Taking out your bow
Yeah.
will take 1 turn.
Okay.
So drawing your bow will be an action.
Okay.
We'll say that drawing the bow and notching an arrow is an action. Oh, let me see. You don't have quick draw, so.
No.
So yeah, it's that.